Is that a spider web on my tea? Right, I'm just going to sit here, push some random tree bits out of my tea. Whew. Come with me up a tree with some tea. I wanted to get outside today. It's not actually that cold, which is nice. Just remove the twigs from my hat. So I just thought I'd bring you up a tree to talk about 90s music videos. So I'm talking about that era where you're younger and people still watched MTV. In the words of Bowling for Soup, music was still on MTV. You'd switch it on and watch loads of music videos, and then you'd switch through and you keep going until you reach the movies again. You're like, oh. And now we don't do it anymore because we have YouTube, which is fantastic, and everything else. But I wanted to just draw some attention to some videos that I really loved as a kid, and I would sit there for hours on end and try and find the videos to these songs. I couldn't even start to put these in an order. I can tell you ones I'm really passionate about. I can tell you ones that I think you guys will enjoy being reminded about. Either way, here's a collaboration of some of those things. The first one I'm going to talk about is probably my favourite video ever, and that's Blur and Coffee and TV. It's literally about a little milk carton who has the lost boy on the side, and he goes to search for him, and on his way he finds some very grumpy cans and things like that, and then he finds a little strawberry milk girlfriend, and at the end they die, spoiler alert, and they fly up to heaven, and there's a nice little after music bit, and it's just so charming. The Real Slim Shady, this is an amazing Eminem video where it's just set in like a mental hospital, and there's like they're giving them pills, and the Real Slim Shady's in there with some short nurses, and they're very moody, and it's just excellent. And he's wearing these strange pants, he's walking around, it's really weird. But again, you'd switch through until you found it, just so you could watch it again. Natalie Imbruglia and Torn, which pretty much everyone knows, unless you live in a tribe somewhere, you might not know that song, in which case you probably won't be watching YouTube. This is how I feel, cold and I am shamed, lying naked on the Anyway, she's just standing there looking at the camera, everything's getting moved out in the background, and there's lots of furniture getting moved around, and we're not really sure why. But the reason I really like it is because there's no flash bangs and whistles, there's just her, and she's just singing to camera, and it's fantastic. If you flip over to the R&B channel, there's just guys in cars with hose, and like big gold chains and grills and stuff. She's just singing, and it's all about her voice, and it's about the words and what she's saying. And there's a bug on the lens. I don't know if that's interfering or not. Jamiroquai and Virtual Insanity, one of my favourite songs. It's just like Torn, but a Jamiroquai version. The floor is moving, he's got this crazy hat on. He never gets to stay still because the floor is moving in the room, and all the furniture is sliding everywhere. Someone just sat there and said, right, the floor must move. Sweet like chocolate. Come on, girls out there, everyone knows this song, and you'd flip through until you heard it. It was amazing, like an animated chocolate world with this little chocolate girl, and she's running through this town, and she's like, sweet like chocolate boy. And she's got this kind of sway going on, which I just remember really vividly. Reminds me of like year 3. How could I forget? Viva Forever, Spice Girls, fantastic video. Mainly because there's fairies in it and Rubik's Cubes, and when I was young, that was all I wanted to talk about. Fairies and Rubik's Cubes. Straight on. In the boardroom of that video, they were just like, fairies and Rubik's Cubes, that's all we need to do really. And the Spice Girls were like, yeah, okay, and then that was it, because they talk like that. Anyway, you put money in, you spoil the thing, and they're in these little plastic balls, which just is 90s in an object, where you open them and you've got a little toy or something inside, and it's the Spice Girls. It's just amazing. One for the boys then, Californication, Red Hot Chili Peppers. The ultimate computer game that I really, really wanted to play. It's got all the Red Hot Chili Peppers members, and they go through in these different levels. There's like an underwater level, which I know everyone hates, but hey, in this one it's cool. He's lying in these poppies. They're going through like Los Angeles, I think it is. It's just amazing, and they're going around collecting everything. The squirrels are hunting me. If you can remember some, please share them in the comments, because I'd love to be reminded if there's any I missed out. But thanks so much for joining me up this tree. My butt really hurts. Join me next week for more 90s memorabilia. No, I'm kidding. I have no idea what I'm doing next week, but probably, let's face it, living in the past and all that. The things we do for blogging.